Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jessica Edonik, and I'm the Director for Commuter and Transfer Student Engagement. And our Commuter and Transfer assistants have been putting together great videos that have been talking about various projects across campus and other information that you might be interested in. So now it's my turn to get to share this information with you. What I want to talk about today is identities, your personal identities, which lead into your values, how you define yourself. The reason I want to talk about this is that our identities help us look at some ways that we want to connect with our community, and as well as ways that we want to connect with others individually. And at Drexel, we try to help you explore that through a variety of different student organizations, events, and even throughout the year, our Student Center for Inclusion and Culture hosts several months that relate to various affinity groups. Like we have Black History Month, which is this month, Women's History Month, we have our Pride Week, we have LGBT History Month, we have our Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, Native American History Month. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to explore a variety of identities. And all of this plays into how we really identify as an individual. So what I want you to do right now is we're going to do a little activity, and you're going to see it come up on the screen. I want you to pause this video and reflect on the activity in front of you. You're going to look through the different types of identities that we've listed for you there, and some may not be there, but I want you to list your top 5 identities, and then we're going to talk about that in a minute. So please pause and participate in this activity, and we'll talk in a few. Okay, you now should have had a few minutes to reflect on your various identities. So there's a couple of questions I want you to reflect on over the next couple of minutes. So the first question is, what really led you to choose these particular identities? What really spoke to you about the identities on the sheet, or some identities we may not have had that you listed there? So think about that. What led you to choose these top 5 identities? Another question I have is, how do these identities influence what you read, what you participate in, and issues that you care about? So I'm from Cleveland, and so I like to read articles that talk about Ohio or Cleveland specifically, whereas if you're not from Cleveland, you may not, that article may not be of interest to you. You might skip right over it. In addition, I have a real passion for LGBT issues. So I'm going to read an article that talks about the transgender experience, or living as a lesbian in today's society, whereas if you don't identify, or that's just not an identity you considered before, you may skip over that as well. So how we identify really impacts what we participate in, what we read, and really the issues that we care about. So I also wanted to ask you on this sheet, what identities had you not had to consider before? For instance, I'll just go back to my LBGT. If you identify as straight, you've maybe never had to consider identifying as your orientation before. So there may not be an identity that's really close to heart. But if you do identify as gay, this might be an identity that's close to your heart, and that you feel like you need to reflect every day. So that's just an example of an identity you may not have had to consider before because you haven't had to. And then really what this activity leads to also is, how does your identity impact your engagement with Drexel, the local community? How do your identities influence what you're getting involved in, what activities you're participating in, what types of friends that you're making? So your identities are really important and really influence and impact the way that you maneuver through life and through your time at Drexel. So I always encourage students to challenge themselves, go beyond your initial identities, see what else is out there, keep an open mind, participate in events that you may never have considered before, or activities that are outside of your comfort zone. So I hope that this exercise has been helpful to you in learning a little bit more about yourself, and learning more about how your self-awareness can impact how you engage with the campus and local community. So I encourage you to get involved, attend a lot of the different events of months that we're hosting for Black History Month. Women's Her Story Month, Pride Week, all of those great events that really challenge how we think about the world around us. Thanks.